Okay, so now this live stream should be good, guys. Sorry, I had a issue before. I wasn't able to actually turn the live chat on for zero delay. So it should be good now. If you guys can hear me clearly, please let me know in the chat. And I'm just gonna move my mic next to me. And also I'm just going to enable the preview there, and now the quality should be good, and also the voice quality should be good as well. So I'm just going to continue working on the authentication system using Nest.js. So here's a documentation for that. I'll be using a lot of documentation today, and I'm just going to build that kind of micro library using Nest.js. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can put that in the chat and I'll try to answer. And please keep the questions related to Nest.js or Angular for now in this live stream. Yeah, and welcome to live stream. I'm excited to have you on board. This is going to last about an hour or so. So let's get started. So I'm just going to go back to VS Code. And right now in my terminal, I'm running this debugger as well. So let's just say open a browser. Let's see. All right. One thing we can do here is turn off the notification. And also, guys, I'm using Mac, but I'm actually running this code on Raspberry Pi. So this is going to be quite interesting because I'm going to be using some of the commands that will be Linux based. The service running for this, you'll forwarded port. I'm just going to okay. Is linked to is linked. But one thing I did recently is that I was like working full time on WebStorm, and I had to switch to VS Code because of the remote development. I created a video for that as well. But the thing is, the VS Code required a lot of configuration that I had to do to be able to make it work the way I work in what do you call in WebStorm. Okay, so let me just quickly fix this. I'm using VS Code to write the code, mate. Coral, yeah. One thing I can show you here that I am using very less mouse right now. Uh, the reason for that is mouse basically makes you slow while you're developing. So what I recommend you guys to actually try to get used to with the shortcut keys. Now I'm switching in Mac operating system with just shortcut keys. So if I want to switch to different workspace, I can do that. I want to switch to WebStorm, I can do that with just the shortcut key. And also on a Chrome browser, I can switch. I can pretty much operate the Chrome browser just by using a keyboard. So this is one thing that you have to get used to if you're developing and doing some serious development, because I don't want anybody or myself to actually spend time on just using mouse and just spending time on using a computer. So I'm going to connect to first of all connect to host. I use this one, and I'm going to do this. That's when I need to use mouse. Okay. And also I'm gonna open up a folder. So dev, I'm gonna use both folders there. Okay, that's good. So I've got that session back, and now I'm going to go to WebStorm. I'm gonna make sure that in that session I added everything that I needed to. So it said the branch is out of Monorepo by one commit. So to git push. So yeah, that's what I needed to do. So just allow that from my GitHub. And I'm just gonna make it like available all the time. Okay, so that's pushing now. Alright, so that's good. Now another thing I'll do is, because I'm gonna be like making sure all my code is in Raspberry as well. So in WebStorm, I will go to, first of all, I'll go to tools, and I want to go to tools and go to deployment. And here I have this browser remote host. Right now nothing is added, so that's fine. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go to tools. I'm going to go to deployment. I'm going to configure that. I'm going to add the deployment. I'm going to do SFTP, and I'll just do hi server. And here I'm going to use this SFTP, and then you need to create an SSH. So I'll just create an SSH there. That would be host 192.1. So that's like running on locally. And Ubuntu is the password, and the key should be key pairs. This one. Let's just do, okay, the port is invalid, so that's fine. I'll just do connect. It's just connecting, so we'll just wait for this to finish. Yep, connection successful because I had that SSH key enabled there. So I'll just apply that, click OK, and I'm gonna use that. Now for the path, I'm just going to do auto detect, and that's like root path. So what I'll do is, this is the, now I get to see this, what do you call this, Ubuntu file system. So I will go to home, Ubuntu, gonna go to dev, and then just do that. That's your root path. And I'm gonna go to mapping, and that's like my main folder. And I'm going to just make sure that I don't upload the node modules folder as well. So for that, I will just go and I'll just do libs folder. And yeah, that should be version nest, not exactly. I'll just do Fantasy 5 for now. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And for web part, that's fine. Now there's going to be excluded part, which I'll add, and I'm just add local part. And I'm going to make sure that I just get rid of this node modules folder. Okay, and that should be excluded. I'll just do one more. So deployment part, I'll make sure that I get rid of that as well. Okay, now if I click OK, and I'm going to go to Tools, Deployment, and I'm going to check this automatic upload. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to API file and go all the way down. Now I'm gonna just go back to VS Code, and here's my file. Now all the way down, I'm going to just say, I'm just gonna leave that here, okay? Just leave that here, and I'm going to go to WebStorm. So I'm just gonna add a comment. Yeah, so I'll just say test, and now I'm going to save. Once I save this, it should just upload that to VS Code. And now this is basically coming from the remote server, so that means I can get my data, or not data, but the file updated directly in the Raspberry Pi, even though I'm using WebStorm on my local computer just to fast track the development. So that's good now, and WebStorm is set up. And I'm just gonna get rid of this bit, and what I'll do is we'll make sure that I have that configuration set up for this project. So I got edit, add configuration, and then here we got this server there, that's 14.14, that's good. And I've got this Angular application, JavaScript set up as well. Now let's go to settings. I'm gonna go to, first of all, SSH, okay? And for the SSH configuration, here's the configuration. I'm gonna just say for the current project, and that should be visible, that should be actually visible in one of the IDEA file here. So that's good. And I'm going to go and add this remote, not actually this one, but deployment. And that's the deployment. And then this is visible only for the current project. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to just grab that IDEA folder as well. So here I'll do project files, and I don't see that node module folder yet. All right, that's probably the hidden. So we'll do something like dot, and I'm just going to do IDEA folder there, and yeah, I'm not able to get that IDEA folder. So we'll do the terminal. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Oh, not that one part. I'll go to terminal, and I'm gonna check ls, and ls.la, and now I can get to see there's the IDEA folder there. That's good. So I'll just do dot idea, and I'm gonna check what are the files. So here we got deployment file, and I also got this what do you call this, SSH config. So I'll just do SSH config file, and you can see now this is being added. So what I like to do is I like to add this to git. So that's why I don't really have to do it again. So I'll do git add SSH. Okay. So now it says the path are ignored by git ignore files. So I need to add that. Anyways, I'll just leave that for now. I'll just get to work, get to do some work now. How you all doing? Can you guys check my quality of the stream and tell me if that's okay? There was one question in one of my video that I want to answer in this stream. A lot of people ask me that when you're typing on a keyboard, we're not able to hear your sound, and that's because of one of the application that I use called Crisp. So Crisp basically uses the AI to actually get rid of the keyboard noise, and also if I have some other noises like maybe people speaking behind me, that Crisp application will also get rid of that as well. So if you're interested in live streaming, I would highly recommend to check out Crisp. They're not sponsoring me or anything. It's just that I use it on like daily basis when I'm creating a video or even recording something. So yeah, that's pretty good software. Alright, so we got this release version that's working, and we have this verify user that's null. And if I go to this file, I've got to go to login. I'm gonna do a login there, and that says unauthorized because of this user. So what I can do is go to right, so there is no database plugin, and I'm gonna have to install that plugin. Go to database. Oh man. Uh, what do you do, load? You got a name there, which I don't know. You have that name, Lord, but oh no, I have to restart it. I'll just do a restart. I'm doing my live stream here. I just wanted to show you guys the CPU is like spiking. So right now the CPU is taking up like 83.34%. That is crazy. Nice, nice. CPU is like 55% idle, 14% idle now. That's like, it's just like crying. But if the website becomes unusable while I'm doing live streaming, I might switch to VS Code. But anyways, so let's try running some. Okay, so I'm gonna go to package.json and then just run this. Okay, it's verifying IntelliJ. I should have opened this project in IntelliJ actually. That should have like straight up working. But that would be a little bit more resource hungry software compared to WebStorm. So now I'm just gonna have to add that data source there. All right, the computer is still, it's quite struggling. So what I'll do here is Raspberry Pi. I'll do Mongo, and that would be running on this. No password required because and the drivers are missing as well, so it's gonna install the driver. Okay, let's try the connection. Let's see if that works. Alright, so I guess there is no username and password. Let me find that. Let me just do. So I have to go to app module, and yep, there is no password. So there's no password or anything. It's just gonna be straight up URL. Right, so now the computer is becoming really, really unresponsive. But anyway, we'll try to keep using WebStorm until I really see that it's not really um, working out for me. Okay, so what I was checking the users. So in terms of users, I want to see how many users. So there's only one user right now. So it might be good to actually do a registration for a user. And for you guys to see, there is a auth controller that we were working on in the last video. So we got now this login request, you got this register request, and then you also have this refresh token. Another thing that I did was this auth endpoint. So I added this bit. It says export in an auth endpoint. So we got all the auth endpoints listed here. So it's good to have those like in without like adding the strings, writing the code. So that'll be easy to maintain for API side and then the app side as well. Now right now there's only one user there. So I'm going to go to api.http file and I'm going to go register a user. So we have a register post, this one, and there's a user file there. So I'm going to go to this file. And right now it says ID 8. So I'll just do, for example, let's just do 1, so T1, password stays password. And I'm just going to save this file. And now I'm going to run this. Let's run it. Oops. With the dev environment, once I run it, I get to see a response says error 0, status code 0, enter a valid email. Okay, so what happened to the user.json file? What's wrong with this? There is a valid email though. Okay, I accidentally changed the data. So now you can see our API is telling us what is wrong with our code. So that's really good. So now I'm gonna go back to API and hide all window. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna have to use this a lot. So let's register now. And now you should be able to see we got this screen brush software. I'm gonna use that. And I'm going to continue. That's another cool software that I like. And I'm gonna just enter in the ghost mode. Okay, so now if I use F1, am I in a ghost mode? Nah. So exit ghost mode. Okay. So what I'll do is I will select a rectangle tool, which is this one. Nah, it didn't select it. screen brush, and I'm in this one. Okay, so what I'll need to do is go here, restore purchase, and it did activate everything now. So now if I do command 3, I'll get the rectangle tool, which I can use to point out what am I talking about. So here we got this register. Let's get inside the ghost mode. So I'll do it's actually F1. So I'm gonna have to press some other key to actually do the ghost mode. So let's go to shortcut, and for the ghost mode, F1, and yeah, that should be good. Yeah, that's it. I'm in a ghost mode now. Alright, that's good. I can use the mouse to go ahead and do some ghost mode. Alright. So now you can see we have this what do you call this a user created. I'm also going to open screen brush for a second and set it up properly. So what I need here is I need to go to settings, and I need to launch this the user login, and then for the shortcut key I'll do, so there's a magnification option set. Okay, ghost mode is F1, and where is the FN key? Okay, it should be good now. So if I do, I know what I've done wrong here. So if I do Logitech options, and here it says use all this with F1. So now if I do this, nah, still not working. Anyway, it does work on a Mac actually, but doesn't work on the actual Logitech keyboard. It does work on like a Apple original keyboard. I think I have that here somewhere, but that's fine. Uh, I'll just use this, something like this quickly. Yeah, rectangle tool. Okay. Hmm. Anyway, so we got the user created. I'm gonna go to the console here. This is like database. I'm gonna refresh this, and now we can see we got this something like this bit's created now. So that's good. Let's do something. Uh, in a preference, I would like to fade out, fade out, fade out. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, fine. Okay, use magnification of flashlight. So I'll do. Okay, I need to allow this to have this what do you call screen. Okay, here, privacy and security and privacy. Then gotta go to screen recording, and then we just unlock this bit, enable that, and it's gonna ask me to quit it. That's fine, I'll just quit it, and then we'll open that again. Quit screen brush. So now the live stream will be more intuitive to watch, because I'll be like pointing at what I'm talking about. So there'll be like really cool stuff. So let's do, okay, so let's do rectangle mode, and I'm gonna go to ghost mode. So this is the data now. If I do magnification, oh my god, that's like too magnified. So let's open up the screen, this brush preference, and we go to zoom, and now flashlight is like really zoom. Okay, so probably be do 2x. Yeah. Yeah, nah, too much. So probably do 1.6 maybe. That should be good. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we got the data there, and now I'm gonna try login with that user. So let's go to close this file, and let's log in with that user. So first of all, we're gonna go to user.json file, and that's changed. That's good. So we'll find out where's the login request. Here's a login request, and right now the username and email is something like this. So we're gonna have to change this to T1 because that will be used for the login. And I'm going to do, okay, so that's rectangle tool. I'll move this bit here, and that's the data that I'm talking about, T1 at test. So that's good. We're gonna have to change this bit. Now if I run this, now I get to see a token. Also, what we can do here is I'm just gonna move that to the top right. Yeah, that's actually much better. Okay, so now we can see in 9 we have this, and I'm gonna rerun this, and now it says something, enter valid email here, so I'm gonna delete that bit actually, and rerun this. Now we get to see the token. This one I just want to make sure that I delete it, so if I do this and say clear content, yeah, now the services have changed quite a bit, so that's really good. So we have a Mongo console, and we got this API there as well. So I can quickly with the keyboard, I can rename this as well, like it's a login. So I'll do edit, I'll just do login request, save it, and now we can quickly do a login request instead of so was okay. Well, the reason why I'm using Angular and Nest.js, because Nest.js is very close to being an Angular. It's got controllers, it has a module, it has pretty close to the way you write Angular. And if you look at my browser here, um, you're gonna find a lot of similarities basically. And also because of these similarities, it's just easier to create a code which can be reused. So for example, uh, if you look at my folder structure here, you got this libs folder. So if I open up libs folder, you'll see a data folder, or let's just say constant. This is itself, it's like a Angular, or you can call it a micro library that can be imported into Angular and Nest.js. So for the authentication, here's a Nest auth, right? So I'll have to just, publish this to my GitHub, and the next project that I'm going to be working on, I can actually just import this using like npm install. So for example, if I go here, the way you install this like Angular package, or let's just say this Prettier or TS Node, I could just install my library like that in Angular and in Nest.js. So this is what I'm doing, like a reusable code which can be reused in many different projects. I hope that makes sense now. I know there are other frameworks that really widely used, and I don't have any complaints about them. But the only reason why I'm using this, Angular and Nest.js works very well together. So we got the login request working, and we're gonna go here and I'm just gonna get rid of this clear content, and then we are going to log out. So for the logout, we're gonna find there is a logout request, this one. And for the logout, I'm just gonna make sure that I will use the same token. And in the login request, we had this token stored. Yeah, we did store the token. So now if I do logout, you see it says logout successful, and I'm going to rename this edit configuration, so logout. This again, I'll just open the services and just run the request straight away. Okay, so logout works, but what if I want to check whether I could get access to profile? So now if I run the profile, it says unauthorized. So first of all, let's go here and I'm gonna add this quickly, and I'm gonna say profile request. Okay, so now when I do login request, I get the token. I can go to profile and it says user profile. And I'm gonna go to auth token and there's a profile. Let's say user profile returned. Next, we go to services and I'm gonna run this again, and I get to see user profile return. So that's good. Now if I log out, I'll just do this, so it means logout successful. If I try to get this user profile this time, it says unauthorized because we logged out. So our login logout works, and profile is being unauthorized once you log out. So I'll do login, I get the token, and then I'll do profile, I get the response back. So yep, that's good. And then I'll do logout and logout successful. Now if I try to access profile, it should say unauthorized. So looking at the code here, here's our auth controller, and we have a couple of guards that are written. So here I've got a guard called JWT auth, and that guard basically helps to verify if there's a valid token there. And if there's no valid token, then it's just not gonna let this happen. So I will create another get request, for example. I'm just gonna say get request, and for this I'll just use, for example, testing, and then I'll just say get testing, just a function. Now the request, and that's a request object, and then in terms of what's going on there, okay, this bit, and we're gonna just zoom in a bit while I'm working, and should be good. Okay, I gotta return something. So there's a get request, part is testing. Okay, I know what the problem is. I've gotta get inside the class file. There you go. That was a problem. Very silly problem. Okay, so now if I just go and say return testing, And if I go to the API, I'm going to copy this and create another request. And I'm gonna, instead of profile, I'm gonna say testing, and there is no authorization required. And I need to put like a comment here. Okay, so now if I run this one, so there's a testing request, I will run it and I get to see testing back. So let's go to this. I'm gonna, uh, that was a shortcut key for that, Shift F4. So I'll do Shift F4 and I'll just do testing so I can rerun this. Now I can just go ahead and run this. It's going to just keep on running. Okay, so it's just running, but see what happens. Okay, so invalid URI host blah blah blah. So something has happened there. Alright, anyways, I'll go to Auth controller and I'm going to do a breakpoint there. So I'll do a breakpoint there, and I can see my code is actually being okay. That would be, that should be running here. This is nothing to show. That's fine. I'll go to this. I think my server just crashed. But if I run it, I'll do a logout request. Yeah, nothing is running now. There's a problem. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just run this bit. Nah, I'll gotta go to uh, package.json file, close this running bit. Okay, so now we're gonna go up there to the scripts. So the way I run it, by as you can see, here's my mouse, right? I'm not really using it, pretty much using the full keyboard all the time. So if I do debug and it says stop and rerun, so that means it is running. I'll just rerun this and see what happens. Oh, okay, my bad. So the thing is, I as a debugger, not as a run, so that's why. I'm gonna move this window to, let's just say, top left. Okay, and let's just make it this one size a little bit. And then we go debugger and we make it like this. Okay, so now it's good workflow. Usually when I'm not live streaming and I'm working, using this resolution. So my usual resolution is like 4K. Yeah. Right now I've just scaled it down to 25, I think 1440p, just because I could work. Alright, so now it's running in, so we go and run testing. And now there you go, we got the debugger. That's really good. So that was good. Just let it go and it came back as testing. Now if I add the use God, so we'll just use God, and there is JWT God, Auth God, and I also have there was another God. Okay, what's going on there? It says create use God reference. Alright, my bad. So that's gods, not use God. And uncheck this bit. Okay, so let's do I'm gonna use like hide all window command so I can do hide active window tool. So I'll hide the debugger like whenever I need to hide it, or I don't need that. And we'll just expand this a bit. Okay, so let's do testing this time, and it come as like unauthorized because we're not logged in. So that's really good. So auth code is working. What I can do now is I'll just log in. Maybe reset to login. I'm gonna just run this and I get to see a token. And now if I go to testing, testing, testing. No, it's not running. You know what's the reason here? So WebStorm, or let's just say IntelliJ product, has something, this REST client. Now here you can see I'm not actually using authorization. So I'm gonna uncheck this because now I'm using the guard, this bit here. Um, this one, I'm using the guard, but I'm not actually using that as like, you know, authentication for that bit. So I wasn't able to use this. Okay, that caused the problem. So now once we have that, then what I can do now is, let me just close some files there. Oh, I closed API. So now if I go to services and I run this, now it should be coming as testing. And if I log out, this video will be available under live stream, I think, under my channel. You can go through this. So just to overview, guys. This video I've started with WebStorm, clean install, set it up with, like, you know, the services with HTTP client plus all this configuration with the keyboard, and also the deployment using this Raspberry Pi. So right now it's not actually reading, but for example, quickly I'm gonna show you here. Oh yeah, I need to do something about touch tool. This one is set as height, so we're gonna do launch, and that should work now. So now I can switch between VS Code. Oh yeah, yep, that's good. No, 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 didn't work. So this would be not launch, but this would again be hide. I know I was talking about something else and I just got to this bit because this is important. I can't work without this. Right, so basically the VS Code is like getting updated when I update the WebStorm stuff. So if I go and change something like one, you'll see the VS Code is getting that data because it's uploading to my development server, deployment server. Okay, so for some reason, WebStorm does not open using Better Touch tool. Okay, so if we go to debugger now, you can see it's running, but there was some sort of like an error happened. Anyways, so that's the error. Use guard, not defined. Oh yeah, that was an error. That's fine. So I'm going to go to Auth controller and we're going to talk a little bit about what we have so far in Auth controller in terms of our authentication using Nest.js. And the way I've set it up using WebStorm is really easy to test this code. So we got a login request, we got a logout request. We also have this register request, reset password request, verify user request. So we got a verify user request, and let's test this out as well. I'm going to go to verify user, this one. Yep, and then we're going to go to this user file, and that's actually the same user. That's good. This I get to see, yep, it coming back as user verified. Okay. That's right, like that. So I'm gonna go to edit that bit as well, and let's say verify. So I got all the requests. I think I reset. I didn't really. Oh, that was a testing. Now testing is here. Login's here. Where's the logout gone? Anyways, we're just gonna have to add the logout. So back to Auth controller, and then we have this reset password. Now the reset password we need to implement and then refresh token. So let's go to refresh token. Right now what it's doing, it's not returning the refresh token. So let's work on that. Here is the code for that, and it's basically just logging the user, and I'm gonna have to put that as a async. That's good. So we got a lot to clean up here as well, like promises. You don't really need to do this once you have this async request, unless you have this like specific pretty specific type that getting returned. So when it's async, no need to do this promise any, because that's not really true. I'll leave that promise any for now here. I'll come back to it later. So all of the requests for asynchronous code. Now in auth token, we're just going to return the refresh token. I'm going to just return this. And yeah, that's fine. But where we're catching the error for this, so we're actually not catching. Are we catching error in login? No, we're not. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna have to catch the error. Yeah. So let's do .then. Oh, no, just the catch. If there is an error, then we just return the error. Okay. And from this, just to test this, instead of this, I'm just going to return actually throw error. And in terms of this, we're just gonna say error equal to custom error, and this is require import statement there. Okay, so let's test it. Here we got this refresh token, and I'm gonna say if that returns an error, then this should return the error for me. So we'll go to here to our API, and I'm gonna find this refresh token request, and let's run that. And you can see it says status code 500 internal server error. Okay, why is that? Did that hit this bit? So we're gonna have to turn on the debugger, and that's the debugger. So let's do a bit of space, and I'm going to do breakpoint here, refresh token. If I'm going to run, where is the, so we do run, and that will give me that debugger there. Let's open the services. Now we got here, then we go to refresh, and we got to throw the error. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna change this to a bit of a, when you come to the code after some time, it just you get to forget things. Then let's run it, and if I run the code again, let's see what happened to debugger. All right, it's just restarting. Okay, so let's do run. It says connection error. This could be, okay, so debugger attached. That's good. So if I run this again, it's not going in there. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's stop this. and I'm gonna say it's going to verify token. Okay, so that's not what we wanted. So we're gonna go back to API HTTP call. So this is the refresh token. That's going right place. And here we got this guard, the JW auth guard, yes. And then we need authorization. So for that, what we'll need is we need to log in first. So I'll just run this login. And if that comes back as wrong, then we just restart the server. This is IntelliJ or WebStorm, we can call it. So now on the console, there is a problem. So what I'll do, I'll just stop everything. I'll just stop. And now no debugger running. Actually, just use stop so you guys can see. I just pressed Command F2. Command F2 to stop everything. So I'll stop all. So that should give me enough room now to work on the code. I'm not sure. So if I do refresh token, that's coming as, yep, that should be okay. I'm going to re-edit this and I'm going to say refresh token. Okay, that's good. So I've got this refresh token request. Then let's try logging out. Let's see what happens. I go there, Shift F4, log out, and this is the one. So I'm gonna have to log in first. So let's log in. Nah, nothing's working. So let's go to debugger, and I'm gonna rerun the debugger. I'm using a lot of shortcut keys. I hope you guys are okay with that. I spent a lot of time, learning the shortcut keys. So as you can see, last 15-20 minutes, I haven't really used the mouse at all. That's pretty good, and I'm glad that I'm using WebStorm. So how you all going? Do you guys enjoy the live stream or getting to learn something? I haven't looked at anything in the documentation today because just mostly, working on API with authentication. One thing I want to mention here, guys, if you are a programmer or if you're using a Mac computer, you see this software here called Beta Test Tool. This is a must-have software. It's like the best software that you can get. There's a lot of productivity that I do using this software. I can switch between applications very easily, and on the right side there's a shift key on the keyboard. Not many people use that a lot, but I use it for switching application, and I can take my mouse cursor to next monitor or coming back to this monitor, going back to this monitor, and then once I'm in this monitor I can use the shortcut key to switch between that. And there's a lot of shortcut keys that I've set up for the mouse and gesture, so that's really good application. Okay, so our server is running. I'm gonna first log in and I get to see token. That's good. And then I'm gonna refresh and I get the breakpoint now. So now the console log, it's gonna go inside this. Let's let it run, and it says internal server error. Maybe we just do a comment. Okay, and here we got throw error, so probably this is the issue. Finally, we're gonna go to um, I'm gonna go to fundamental section and try finding word error. So Nest.js probably have something common errors. Okay, so I want to find out if I can throw my own. I have to use like a um, express error. sessions, Monorepo controller, logging. I'm yet to find a word error. Let's do a Stack Overflow query. So Nest.js custom error. All right, so we got these exceptions filters. Okay, that's good. So that's where we're getting internal error, and this will tell me if I can actually do a custom exception. So that's it extends this HTTP exception. We got these rolled exceptions. So payload too large. Nice, nice, nice. And I want to do a custom one. Custom exception. HTTP exception. Actually, that's a filter. So throw standard exception. So here we got throw new HTTP exception. And that's what we need to use instead of that. So I'll go to WebStorm and I'm going to just paste that here. Just return this. Actually, just throw it. Okay. And we need to add the import for that. And I'm pretty sure if I do Command Shift F12, so Command Shift F12. Alright, that's good. So I can switch between my debugger and this. That's good. So that's another shortcut key that I just learned. So now we got this HTTP status is a forbidden, and that should be just, let's just say 404. Okay, and response is my custom exception. Okay, now I'm gonna go to debugger and I'm gonna make sure that the code is running. Okay, that should be running. Now we're gonna go to services. I'm going to first log in. I get that. Then I get to have a debugger there. That's good. Then I'll just let it go with F9 key and I get to see my custom exception. So that's pretty cool. So we got this custom exception there with the status code. So that means I'm gonna have to create a special class in my reusable library which will deal with all kind of errors. So I could just, encapsulate those in one place instead of just, writing the custom errors there. So I'm gonna need a interface as well. So, okay. So now I will just, um, so I'll have to actually deal with this. Problem is that thing does not actually return any error. That's the problem. The authentication within Nest.js. So what I'll need to do is just have to custom throw an error when there is like a problem with the login and with the logout. And I think with the logout, I do have that. So if I go to login function and let me just zoom in a bit. Okay, so with the login function, we just return that. And that will be a big issue because we're not catching any error here. Yeah, that's the problem there. So I think in the next live stream, my goal would be actually doing all the error handling for my API. But for now, we'll just suck it up. And I'm gonna just do this. Just return the login. and I'm gonna cut this bit, and let's go to Auth controller, and we're just gonna do something like this, catch error, and just throw that here. Okay, and now I'm going to just for now I'll just test this bit. So let's refresh, and maybe I want to pause all the, we call this breakpoint. I'll just get rid of the breakpoint and just run it. Yeah, that would have caused a problem. So our computer is a bit slow, mate. Yeah, so system is getting a little bit slower. So for that, I will basically move this to the right. We'll do bottom right. Yeah. So what I'll do is when I switch to debugger, I'll still have my code, and I will need that API stuff at that time. Yeah. So that's the good setup now. All right. How you all doing, guys? Enjoying the live stream or not? If not, then I might just wanna stop it. All right. So let's go to my Auth controller, and for the refresh token. So now here's the thing. Now we're gonna have to catch the error. What we'll do here is new exception, and I'm just going to pass that error for now. And this thing require a response string and a status or a record. So yeah, wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. I'll do I'll just do this for now. And if I just do, if for any reason, for example, doesn't really work, then we'll just do this. We catch the error there. Okay, we're gonna have to do the unit testing for this, guys. Otherwise, we don't know if this is thing working or not. Anyways, not found exception. Let's use this one. So what I'll do now, if I go to verify user, I'm going to run this and that should return that. But what if I change the username into that code? So if I go to verify user and he's a user, and I'm going to change this to because if I go and open, now I need to do this. So I'll do a console there, and I'm going to have to open the query console. So where is the query console in database? Okay, jump to query console, this one. So I'll just do this. So we got a query console and we also have the user table. And let's get rid of this, bring that debugger out, and there you go. That's good setup. All right, so as you guys can see, we don't have a user named T2. So if I go and let me just change this to T2, ID2, and password, leave that, doesn't really matter. And now if I go to this and I'll do verify user, and I'll see response body is empty. Okay, we have to fix this. I'll save this and let's go to Auth controller, and it says return not found. I'm gonna do a breakpoint there. If that hits, let's find out. Now let's run it. Okay, this frame's not available for unexpected reason. Yeah, that's fine, because it actually haven't started yet, so we'll just wait for it because we made a change and it wouldn't really change that, but once we got the change done, then yeah. Okay, so let's try running that again. Stop. Stop that as well. And let's find out in terms of, so let's rerun the code, rerun the debugger. I'm gonna have to ask you a question. What is your favorite IDE? Like, which IDE do you guys use? I'm pretty sure you guys a lot of you guys gonna say VS Code, but I have a VS Code right here. I'm not using it because you can see the functionality that I'm getting with WebStorm. Writing my IDE, testing my APIs, writing code, debugging, and the keyboard navigation. That's really, really important. That's like a requirement for me. If I'm rolling, if I'm like doing any kind of coding, keyboard navigation, that's very important. Okay, so let's do login. We get the token, refresh token. Yes, refresh token is coming as token. That's good. Then we do verify user. And as you can see, we hit the endpoint there. Now email in data, that's good. I say await. This user find one if that user came as. Okay, let's run it, and it gets a response body is empty. Hmm. So let's do find one. We're gonna have to verify this function. It says if we email not null, then we go inside and execute, and we find out if it didn't came in, then okay. It's returning bad progress. It's running a full class. Holy crap. Mm-hmm. Those are actually class names, not actually the error. Like in Python, you usually have the Python REST framework. You have something like already built for you. I used to use that, and I'm still learning Nest.js, guys. Don't judge me on that. I'm still learning. Anybody tell me how's the quality of my screen right now? Like, how do you guys see if the screen is doing okay? Okay. Mhm. like 9 people watching right now, but the chat is quite what do you call it? Quiet. Nobody's talking to me. Could you explain what am I doing, Matt? Can you explain to me? Okay, I think our refresh token got error issue solved. And how many other APIs that we need to test before we can say yes, our authentication stuff is doing okay. So I'm gonna get rid of this testing request. I don't need that anymore because the profile one will tell me. And I'm gonna clean up a little bit to this testing request. And okay, right. I'm gonna show you one command which is going to be really good. So I've got this command option minus, and that gives me this and I can just open up like that. So now instead of looking at the whole code, I can see only the function, but the rest of the code inside those functions are like hidden. And if I want to just jump to this, I can just go like that, and then that's gone. Okay, so this way you can see more code. And I've got this shortcut key here as well, which shows me this recent file windows and recent uh, tool window. That's really actually good as well. Um, switching to different files is really easy. Okay, so now what we need to go here is I'm gonna just clear the content for this, and now we got login, logout, refresh token, verify user, and insert of verify user, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna verify this. Okay, that should be good. And then we need a register. So there's a registration request. Okay, and I'm going to run that with the user again. Hmm, that's bad. My logout request, which is no good. There's a bug in WebStorm. But anyways, the register. Okay, so first of all, let's go and create a new user. Log in with that user, log out, and then log in again. Verify that you can access the profile and log out. Log in, log out, and try to access the profile. So there's like 3 or 4 workflows that we are going to do. This will finish up our basic authentication in Nest.js. So first of all, let's go and create a user 3. I'm gonna leave the password as it is. Okay, and let's go to API. Now first of all, in the user, I'm gonna refresh. Right now you can see we got user 8T and user T2 as well, and their password. I'm going to I can't really modify the password right here. I'll have to add an API to actually change password, which I think we have. We also have the function there. Profile, verify user, reset password. Yes, this is the function that we need to implement after we test our authentication system. So here's a database for the MongoDB, and that database is running in Raspberry Pi here. So if I go to VS Code actually, and I'm gonna go to show you guys Docker, and that's like remote connection, right, to the API, to the Raspberry Pi that I'm doing. And I can see here, I've got this individual container, and that's the MongoDB container that's running. This is the one. Let me move it down a bit, and you guys can see here. I'll just open up. So that one I'm talking about, MongoDB. So that's the one I'm connected to. That's running on the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so now we can see we got 3 users, but let's go and create another one. I'm gonna go here and I'm going to register a new user. I'm gonna run this, and I'm not using the shortcut key now to show you guys that what I'm doing. So I'll just run it, and now that returns me this T3. So let's focus. So that returns me ID 3, T3, T3 at test, password and verified email false, is anonymous false. And we're gonna go and check in the database. So let's go to here. So now, as you can see, basically I don't see that. So what I'll do is I will refresh reload page. So shortcut key that I was using was Command R. So I'm just gonna show you visually. Enter, yes, and there you go. We got the 4, which is this one, D3 at test. Now because we have created that, we should be able to log in. So let's go to our login. I'm going to run this, and you get to see the token there. There you go. So now we're logged in. I'm gonna try accessing the profile page now. So here is a profile page. Run it, and now you can see user profile return. So that means we are logged in. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, but sometimes I'm just gonna rerun a few times. And on the debugger, we are just going to see that if we're hitting that endpoint or not. So now if I rerun this, nothing is getting logged on the console. So let's go to the code, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm gonna just do console.log profile API hit for now. So there is a logging stuff that you can do for the Nest.js. We will learn that later in the next stream or sometime later I'll implement that. But for now you can see it will log to the console now. Now if I'm going to do API 9, which is in this case is edit stream, I'll just do login. That was profile. I'm going to refresh that, and you will notice one thing here. You can see this is actually saying profile API hit. So let's run this. I'm gonna refresh. As you can see, our API is getting hit. So that's good. Okay, but what about if we log out? So I'm going to use a logout API. So there's no logout API for now. We go here, and we're gonna have to find that. And here we got logout API. Okay, where is it? Logout. This one. Okay, I'm gonna run it with dev. So you can click on this play button as well, but I'm just gonna run it with the dev environment. Now it's actually not recording that. I don't know what's going on there. So it says logout success. Okay. Now you can see there's a logout success there. So that's good. Now if I try to go profile, and now you can see it is not letting me get in there because we're logged out. So that means our API is kind of working now. Next, we are going to log in again. So let's log in, and then we can start hitting the profile API hit. Now it's coming back as successful. So login works, profile works. with the authentication that if the token is valid or not, because we logged out and it wasn't working. So that's really something is working. Now we can verify user as well. So I'm gonna run this and it returns data for the user. So that means the user is there. Now if I go to user and I'll change this email to, let's say, 4, and I go back and run my verify user, and that's just going to come as return because we haven't really implemented that bit what it's going to return, but it is returning no body, no response, so that's good. I'll change it back to 3. Okay, so registration works, login works, logout works, authentication works with the profile. If we have a JWT card use. Now it's time for us to do a bit of a cleanup. Right now we got a function register, refresh token, log out, and verify user, and then log in there as well. So I'm gonna just move some of the function. I'm gonna move them up. Okay. Actually, like not like that, but so register top, login, and then log out. Next, cut it and paste it there. Oops. Cut that bit, paste that there. So register, login, logout, and then we are going to leave that refresh there. Then reset password. I'll just move this verify user to this place, and then I'm going to just leave that profile there for now, just to test. So instead of test, I'm going to change this to something like test. Okay, valid JWT. Okay, well, let's just say valid token. Okay, and then here we're going to change this to valid token API hit, and then return is valid token. That should be okay. All right, so we got this just to test. Now I'm gonna go to API before I can move further. I'm just gonna change this to valid token. And let's run it, and then you get to see user has a valid token. But now if I go ahead and then log out, so I think this is log out one, log out, and now if I do valid token, that will return as unauthorized. So that's good. Our valid token is working. Yeah. So that part is done. Then next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to commit the code. So unless I just lose it, so I'll just do. Actually, I'm going to show you how I commit actually when I'm working. So I'll do this shortcut key, which gives me this commit changes. This time I'm going to use the mouse. Let's make the good room there. All right, so I'm going to say log set authentication system works, but will require some cleanup later. I will perform the code analysis, sign off, and I'll do my name there. And I'm gonna just do a cleanup there as well. And then I'm gonna just do a commit and push. I'll just do a review. And this is where some suggestion coming in from IntelliJ. So we got one warning. Now it's telling me there is one unused import. So unused import specifier. Yeah, that's the one. Let's clean up. And then this one as well. And then third one is this. So this is, says that unused constant. Let me. So it says unused constant. Okay, there is a unused constant for the reset password because it hasn't been implemented yet. Next warning what we have here is that it is unused import specifier not found. Okay, and Auth controller. Let's clean up. Now if I do commit again, and I'm going to just do a reformat code as well. Like I want to just reformat pretty much everything. Just my name. I need to save this somehow. I'll find out. How do I do that? Clean up, check to-dos. Yep. I code analysis, yes, and optimize imports, rearrange code. No, not rearrange, but it will basically clean up whatever is unused. So I'll have a clean commit from WebStorm. You see, these kind of stuff you cannot do with VS Code. So I'm gonna review that again, and now we'll have some problems. So it says warning, unused parameter user. Okay, so you see it's telling me I have this unused parameter. No. I can undo. I use unused parameter. So it's reading my code. WebStorm is reading the code, helps me to do the better coding. For this, I'm going to just use this tilde. I'm gonna say password reset for. I'm gonna use this $, and I'm gonna say sync course. I'm just gonna do user. So I'll basically use that parameter. And now if I do a commit, I'll do commit and push, and there you go. Our code is being committed and pushed to GitHub. I hope so. If I go to VS Code, I can see, yeah, things have been updated. So my Raspberry Pi is getting the updated code as well. So I can go to laptop. So what I basically do is when I'm working on a desktop PC, this is my like a desktop Mac. I use like WebStorm because I'll be basically using the whole lot of things, like everything is built into WebStorm. But if I jump to the laptop, that's when I need to save a battery on my laptop, and WebStorm is quite heavy compared to VS Code. So what I'll do is I will use VS Code on the laptop, but I will not use um, WebStorm on a laptop when I'm working. So I'll just push the code, and we're gonna go to, oops, change. I'm gonna go to GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna sign in. So that would be a SMS coming to my phone. Please don't use it. I'll just use that for now. Okay, what was that? So 931 692. There you go. I'll logged in. So now I'm gonna show you. I'll just press F and I'll do DA, and I'll go to the repository. Right, JC. Come on, JC. Then G. That'll take me to this page, and that's the private repository that I have. That's the one. So it's a Monorepo repository. I've used like this Angular React Nest Express node to build this API. So yeah, things are looking okay. Let's go back to Livestream. All right, guys. This is this is going to be the end of my live stream, and I hope you liked it. So we get to this stage, and we were able to build authentication system. And next stream, what we're gonna do a lot of error handling, clean up the code, and then reset password. And I'm going to implement the functionality to actually add a functionality to send an actual email to a specific email so they can start logging. Quickly gonna show you something here. I'm gonna just go to debugger and I'm gonna just stop that. Let's do stop the debugger, and I'm going to go to package.json file, and here you can see I've got a couple of scripts here. I highly recommend, if you're working with Node.js, you make sure that you set up your scripts properly, because these scripts will help you to run things quicker. If I want to add another library to API, I can just use this script. It will just create a new library for me within the folder. And also here's an app. So I'm going to quickly run this. I'm not debugging this, but just running this to show you guys what actually happens. What we're actually building for the front end. Front end is like, okay, it's staged, but I haven't done much work on that. Uh, Also, I'm going to be doing live streaming for Xcode projects like native iOS development soon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's go to localhost. Yep, that's like the login page. So if I do J forgot password, register, login, and then it's basically not much done yet on this, but dashboard. Yeah, nothing's done yet on the app side, but I'm gonna try finding some code to show you guys before I finish. So if I go to apps, I've got an app, and then in the source folder, I'm gonna go to app and go to app routing, and this is the main one. Okay, that's, I kind of forgot that. So if I go to /main, I get to see this main page as well, and we can see turn this bit on, and I'm going to do mobile reload. So what's the shortcut key here? That's Shift M. Okay, not working. Not working for me though, but that's fine. I'm learning good keys. Now, another thing that I was talking about here is for the application called Battle Touch tool. So what you can do is, from the WebStorm, you can actually send the shortcut keys. Being in a WebStorm, you can send that shortcut key to Chrome directly. So if you're doing a web development and you have a debugger running in the Chrome, you don't really need to switch between WebStorm and Chrome, because you can operate your Chrome browser basically using WebStorm, being in a WebStorm. For example, here I'm going to do something like, I can go like differentiate here, and I can have a shortcut key actually to have, like, help me to. So if I set up like let me find out this. No, not this shortcut key. I'm going to do let's just say F. Okay, and that will send the shortcut key just F. Uh, this one. So I'm going to record the shortcut key F and send to the app, which is just a Chrome. So the Google Chrome, and then the shortcut key would be just F. Okay, so now if I go to WebStorm, put it here, I'm gonna just try using F first here. Nothing works, so okay. Let's close the developer tool and then just go to Auth. Okay, now F works, so I can click on these links using the WebStorm. So if I do F, and now it's gonna ask me, oh, screen brush, I'd like to record screen. Okay, so I'm gonna have to allow a lot of things too. Alright, Mr. Google Chrome, do it. And a better touch tool, yeah. You gotta make sure that when you have all of these privacy and security allowed, you don't use a webcam. You're done. Okay, there we go. So right now, as you can see, I am sending the shortcut key to Chrome being in a WebStorm. Okay, I'm gonna do full uncheck and I'm gonna do F. There we go. Let's set up another shortcut key being in a WebStorm. That's really, really interesting. So what I want to set here is I want to just copy, paste, 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 paste. And for this one, I would like to send option option J. Yeah, that's gonna be okay. And that would take as just J and save. This one is going to be option K. Okay, and it's going to save and it's going to send. Okay, that's option K. And if I go here, it's going to send just the K. Okay, and I need F and I need to send enter. No, not really. So JK, and that's about it. For now, we'll just hide them. Okay, so let's just go to WebStorm. Now I'm gonna navigate to the Chrome browser, being in WebStorm. Okay, so I'll do option F. Not working any longer. So if I open up this, so that says option F is gonna go to Chrome and then send this. That's okay. And that's what I needed. So I'll just delete these. Maybe something wrong with these. Delete selected. Okay, so I'll save everything and then I'll go to WebStorm. Option F. There you go. It did send that. Okay. And I will do now, for example, I want to do I'll go to Chrome for a second. I'll go here. Okay. And I'll go back to WebStorm. I'll do option F. There you go. We got that clicking there. Then I'll do option J. There you go. I can just switch. I can send this shortcut key to Chrome being in WebStorm. I'm in the WebStorm. I haven't switched, so as you guys can see, it will take some time to get used to for you guys, for me as well. But once you get used to these kind of shortcut keys, that's pretty cool, man. I would like to just not worry about them for now, because what I can do is I'm gonna go to all apps. Here's my shortcut key, so I can switch between apps. I can switch to WebStorm. I can switch to Chrome by pressing right shift on my keyboard. So if I click here, it says differentiate left and right modifier key. So I have a right click shift key, and that will take me to Chrome. There you go. And I can do full Chrome stuff here. And if I want to go back to WebStorm, I can just press this Shift W, and it'll take me back to the WebStorm. Yeah, not much talking happening in the live chat. But yeah, I'll recommend if you have any questions about that work, WebStorm, or how to improve your development environment, let me know. I'll have a lot of stuff to say about. And all of those people like the live stream, thank you so much. And I'll talk to you guys in the next live stream. Cheers, where we'll work on lots of stuff that I mentioned. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you guys in the next video, a live stream. And if you want to watch this live stream, make sure to check out in the live stream section of